Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your master of musical mayhem, X7, the host of Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. It is Friday, December 12th, December 6th, 2024, and that means it is time for 7 Song Friday. Oops, I forgot I didn't turn that off. Anyway, we'll just get right into this here because, that's what we do. All right, our first song is from the Amazing Ramones. It's called Commando, as you might have guessed. That's the book from Johnny Ramone, which I've not read. I probably should really check into some of that because I'm sure that, from whatever point of view Johnny has, it's pretty interesting. It is from their second LP, Leave Home, was released on January 10th, 1977. So this does make it a 70s album. There was great music in the 70s. We just never got to hear a lot of it. We did get to hear some of it, but not a lot of it. I mean, I don't know how well it did. It probably didn't do very well because they just kept going on. I don't know if success would have been a good thing or not for the Ramones. They deserved it, but anyway, we have talked about the Ramones. They're none of them are related. So, Vietnam wasn't even 10 years. It hadn't been gone for that long. Yeah. That was written by Dee Dee Ramone and Johnny Ramone. So Joey was the singer, Johnny was the guitarist. They were so young back then. It's just amazing to think about. Johnny, Tommy, Dee Dee, Joey. The drummers and the bass players came in and out. Some came back. But this was probably the original lineup. So that was Commando. I, got to play short snippets. Because I don't want to get any kind of strikes. All right, our second song is by, I think, one of Agent Frog's favorite bands, but it's a cover song. It's called Little Girl, and it's off their Temperamental album, which is the third Divinals album. I just gave it away. There it is. It's called Hey Little Boy, but it was original. I think the original song is just Little Girl, but they swap gender roles. So let's listen to some Divinals here. So, yeah. Let's see. Where is Hey Little Boy? Let's see. It's a cover of the 1966 song Little Girl by the American rock and roll band Syndicate of Sound, which I've heard in the past. And, of course, it's their version's about a girl who's done them wrong. This version's about a boy who's done Chrissy Amphlett wrong, which I think is taking your life in your hands. But with her snarl and rock and roll. I just missed having the chance to see them in concert once when they opened for U2, along with The Alarm. But that would have been fun. That is Chrissy on the title card here today, just because. What else are we going to do? Kind of have Chrissy on there. Thought we wouldn't get caught, you see. But she caught him, and then she probably, who knows what she did. Okay, moving right along. Footloose and Fancy Free. Probably get a copyright strike for the Muppet song I just said. Our next one is from, it's called Favorite Shirts, but nobody ever calls it that because we all call it Boy Meets Girl. Now, where are we here? It's by Haircut 100. Don't you know? And it's a 5 frickin'. Is this one? Favorite? Oh, it's only 3 minutes. Must be Love Plus One that goes on forever. Why would you think that it was called anything else? Favorite shirts. I don't, who knows why they name things. Let's see. Haircut 100. They were around for about, I don't know, 2 years. 1980, 1984. So 4 years, and they reformed, and of course have resumed touring. Nick Hayward was the singer, I guess. Obviously, they had horns and all kinds of things added to this track to make it sound like that. It's just, I don't know. It's pleasant. It's a pleasant pop song. It's just not really my cup of. I wouldn't turn it off. It's not like it's a Boston song. I guess the one song I'd like to hear from them includes the Marine Boy theme song, but I don't even remember, unless that was the Wondermints. Oh no, they have a song called Marine Boy. Has nothing to do with the cartoon. My humblest apologies. Oh yeah, there they are. They're not really very rock and roll looking, are they? So all right, well, let's just move right along here. We're gonna go to one of my favorite cartoons. Oh, yes. We have talked about Josie plenty of times. We've got, about like 19 more songs to go through. Oh, speaking of pop. Listen to the beat of my heart, babe. Listen to the song it's singing. Look what you've done. You started bells are ringing. So there's the singers credited as Josie and the Pussycats, and everyone always thought Cheryl Ladd here was Josie, but this is our lead voice here. I really don't have to talk too much about Josie. This was from 1970 probably. There was only the one album, 1970. Every Beat in My Heart. All songs written and composed by Josie McCoy and other collaborators. That's a big fat hairy lie. Come on, you don't have to kayfabe me here. I mean, really, you can tell us. Every Beat in My Heart, Jansen and Stewart. So that's what we're listening to here. Like I said, pleasant song. There you go. You can get it from Rhino, which I believe is the one I have, but I don't know because there are a couple different versions out. So glad I got to know you. I'll find a way to show you. I'll love you just a little bit more with every beat of my heart. All right. Okay, we're not quite there yet. When they first announced the Josie and the Pussycats movie, I was sure that the songs were going to be like this, which pleasant enough, but just kind of pablum. I mean, just easy listening, soft rock, if you will. And what's soft rock? It's mud. Very pleasantly to see that pop punk songs that they had in there, and even the hilarious du jour songs. All right, so our next song is, as you might have guessed, from ELO. It's off their 1981 album Time, which is apparently a concept album. It was one of their band's seventh and last top 10 hit. It reached number 2. And it's got French in it. It was a big deal back then, and they're really a good band. Everyone's heard. I mean, you can hear the Jeff Lynne influence there, can't you? I mean, whoosh whoosh synthesizers. So by this time, it says "Hold On Tight," and then when you look at the album cover, great job, guys. So apparently, the album is about a man who was taken from 1980 to 2095, and I'd like to hear it. It'd be kind of interesting, I think. The video at the time of the release of this song, which was July 17th, 1981. Wow, I remember it being later than that. It was the most expensive video ever made, promotional video, at £40,000, which is, I don't know, probably $100,000 maybe, more or less. I don't know that I've ever seen it. But it's a nice bit of rock and roll, I think, and even with the whooshing and synthesizers, and it's got a pleasant message about that. And I still don't know what he says in French, but I really don't have to now, do I? When you see a ship go sailing, when you feel your heart is breaking, hold on tight to your dreams. All right. So that's Hold On Tight to Your Dreams, one of ELO's probably last hit. Jeff Lynne, of course, became a producer. Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, George Harrison. So you don't feel sorry for him at all. Anyway, Hold On Tight. And then now, a song I don't have to worry about because it is in the public domain. I will fight anyone because Tom Lehrer did it himself. And it is the Irish Ballad. So it's kind of grim and morbid, but very funny. Could have been a Halloween song. About a maid, I'll sing a song, sing rickety-tickety-tin. About a maid, I'll sing a song who didn't have her family long. Not only did she do them wrong, she did every one of them in. She did every one of them in. So then he goes on for the next, I think, 3 or 4 verses talking about how she did every one of them in. I don't know if Heavens to Betsy has done this song yet. It seems like she might have, because if you haven't watched her videos, I highly recommend them. She's just really funny. She's like a 50s housewife or a 40s housewife transported into the 80 years into the future. I think that's the gimmick, but she's got great expressions. She's also very talented. I mean, so I highly recommend that. Let's get back here to the Irish Ballad. One morning in a fit of pique, sing rickety-tickety-tin. One morning in a fit of pique, she drowned her father in the creek. The water tasted bad for a week, and we had to make do with gin. We had to make do with gin. Her mother, she could never stand, sing rickety-tickety-tin. Okay, now I could play the whole song. They're free to download. You can go to tomlehrer.com and get every one of them for free. He made all of them public domain. I mean, Tom is, I don't know how old he is at this point in time, but what a great man. And he's funny, and he's also, I mean, he's smart. He was a mathematician. He taught math at Harvard because he wanted them to fight fiercely. Rickety-tickety-tin. And when at the last the police came by, her little pranks she did not deny. To do so she would have had to lie. And lying she knew was a sin. Lying she knew was a sin. So she gave herself up. We're going to listen to the last verse here because it's also very funny. My tragic tale I won't prolong, rickety-tickety-tin. My tragic tale I won't prolong, and if you do not enjoy my song, you've yourselves to blame if it's too long. You should never have let me begin. You should never have let me begin. He's not wrong, right? All right, that was our 6th song. We're already through this, and look what's coming up next. One of the big hits of 1980. When was this? When was this released? August 13th, 1982. The song, the album, the double album, of course, because everything had double albums, had a lot of filler on it. Probably half the songs you could have done without completely. But they're pretty decent overall. It's not as bad. It's better than the heavy metal soundtrack, which has like 5 decent songs on it, and maybe 7. But I mean, Devo was so annoyed by the heavy metal album soundtrack, they really put a single of "Working in the Coal Mine" in with their I don't remember, not New Traditionalists, but one of their LPs from that time frame. But this is one of the songs that's called "Fast Times at Ridgemont High" by Sammy Hagar. So, funny thing about Sammy, I never enjoyed him in Van Halen or Van Hagar, whatever. Just never. They went from the party band with David Lee Roth to like a, I don't want to call him a serious rock and roll band, but Eddie wanted to be known as a musician's musician, and he's definitely worth it because he was phenomenal. He's a great guitarist, but Sammy was a rock and roller too. I mean, he was not. He was writing stuff like Three Lock Box and I can't drive 55 because I'm a moron. Can't. I don't want to obey the law. Now he doesn't have to because unless you're in this, I don't know. But he could have moved to Wyoming. But I've mellowed on Sammy a bit. Yeah, I mean, I like his solo stuff. At least some of the songs that I've heard, like this one, and whatever he did for the heavy metal album. It might have been called Heavy Metal. Yeah. So 2 songs called Heavy Metal on the Heavy Metal soundtrack. 2 songs called Fast Times at Ridgemont High on the Fast Times soundtrack. Go figure. But I like this way more than I ever liked anything he did with Van Halen. Sorry, guys. Ready? Obviously, probably everyone has seen Fast Times. I mean, if you haven't, you're missing out. It's not the greatest of all movies, but it's pretty much closer to a slice of life at that point in time. The 3 girls, when they go back to school in the fall, and 3 girls have the Pat Benatar haircut right away. I mean, you have to be like Pat, like 5'2", and so there's a bunch of songs. Obviously you've seen it, but there's 20 songs in here, and I doubt, and several that didn't make the cut, or they wouldn't pay for, like to put on the LP, like "Moving in Stereo" and "We Got the Beat." I think that's what opens the movie. I think there's a Go-Go song on here, but it's not "We Got the Beats." So a lot of people said that these movie albums, were just throwaways that they want. Let's put on this band and get a song from them, and that's what they do. I don't know how true that is, but it's as good a theory as any. Okay, want to hear the chorus? Fast times to reach my high. Having a ball. Fast times to reach my high. Riding on the wall. All right. Well, there's our 7 songs. And we're going to get back up here to this one so I don't forget. It's not still playing, right? Okay. And there we go, the proof. There's one of our new logos. I think we've done some other ones since then, but I really like that one with Gulala in it. But my fellow agents, I hope you've enjoyed that. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the button on YouTube to be notified of new episodes every day. I should have said that about the second song, but sometimes I just get carried away and I gotta rock and roll. So until our next assignment, just hold on tight to those dreams. And this is X7 signing off again. And cheating, moving this forward.